Christopher Newport University ITS is pleased to announce our new network file storage system. This video will cover all the information you need in order to get started. What are we going to talk about today? First, we'll talk about why we're making a change. We will cover the timeline for the transition. We'll cover exactly what is going to be different about the new system, show you how to access your files, cover some best practices for the use of the storage system, and finally, tell you how to get help if you need it. So let's talk about why we're making the change. The most important reason is that Galileo, the system we have been using, is at the end of its life and no longer supported. However, the new system has several advantages both for you and for ITS. The advantages for you include a live backup to a secondary data center. What this means is that if our main system has problems, we're able to still give you access to your critical files. It also takes snapshots of files. This allows you to restore any file that's damaged or inadvertently deleted really easily. Finally, there's a more organized look. It doesn't show you files and folders that you don't have access to. This makes it much easier to find the files and folders that you can access. There's also some advantages for ITS. The storage is expandable. That means as we have the budget and the need for more storage, we can just add it to the existing system rather than buying a new one. It's also much easier to maintain and more reliable. So let's take a look at how the transition is going to work. All faculty and staff will have access to individual file storage on the new system on Monday, November 4th, and you will be responsible for migrating your files over from the Galileo iDrive. You should also migrate anything from your personal folder on your departmental drive over because those departmental personal folders are going away. The iDrives on Galileo will no longer be accessible after December 23rd, so make sure you move everything over before you leave for the holiday break. So ITS will migrate the department and collaborative drives over ourselves. You'll see a departmental and collaborative folder under your new F drive, but you won't be able to access them and there won't be anything in them. After the migration has been performed, you won't have access to the equivalent Galileo drives. And we do want to note that permissions will change on those department and collaborative drives once we migrate them, and I'll cover more details on that in just a minute. So what all is changing? So overall, things are going to be a little bit different. On Windows, you will have just one drive letter, and it will be F for files. On the Mac, you'll only have one address to map, and we'll cover exactly how to do that in just a moment. You'll also be able to restore your files on Windows. We'll show you how to do that when we cover accessing your files. And you'll notice that files are virus scanned. So if a file has a virus, it will be reduced to 0 size, but it'll still show you it's there just so you know that something happened. You'll be responsible for deleting the file and or restoring it from a snapshot that is undamaged. So there are some additional changes to the departmental folders. Before you had it as an individual drive, now that departmental folder will be located under departments. You'll get a subfolder under departments for each department that you're in. And there's no custom permissions within these folders. Everybody in your department can see the whole departmental folder. For collaborative is fairly similar. You can only see collaborative folders that you can access, whereas before if you clicked on collaborative you'd see a bunch of files and folders that you didn't have any access to. And there's only a single level of permissions for each collaborative folder, which is managed by IT. If you have complex or frequently changing permissions, we recommend that you consider Google Drive instead of the collaborative folder because it's just easier for you. If there are exceptions to that permission structure that you need, you'll need to fill out a network file storage exception form, and that will be provided for you by ITS. All right, let's cover how to access your files. So starting November 4th on Windows, you will see an F drive. And on Macs, even after that date, you'll have to access the share manually. Let's take a look at how to do that. So we'll take a look at Windows first. Mac users, bear with us for just a second. So when you're given access to the new file storage, if you're a Windows user, the first time you restart your computer after you're given access, you will see this new Files drive in your network locations. And unless you've got something already mapped there, it should be mapped to the F drive. Double click on it, and you will see 3 folders within. These kind of correspond to the 3 Galileo drives that you previously had: Personal, Departments, and Collaborative. If you click on Departments, you won't see all of the departments at CNU. You will just see the ones that you're in. So I just have IT Services. Let's back up a little bit and go into the personal one so you can see kind of how it operates. So I don't have terribly much in here yet because it's brand new, but I did want to show you one thing that you can do. So if something happens to your document and it gets messed up and you want to restore an older version, you're actually able to do that on Windows. All you've got to do is right-click, go to Properties, and click over on Previous Versions. So after a brief wait, you will see the snapshots of your document. Now, it only takes snapshots a couple of times a day, so if you make a bunch of edits really quickly, it may not go right to the last edit you made. But if you find one that is from before anything catastrophic happened, you can click it, click Restore, and it will come right back. Now, it will overwrite the version that you have, so don't do this lightly. I'm going to click Cancel because I don't want to replace my test document. Other than that, this functions pretty much the same way as Galileo. You can open files, move them around, save them just like you did with your previous Galileo drives. That's pretty much all there is to Windows. Let's take a look at it on the Mac. So Macs work a little differently. They don't automatically connect, so we have to do that ourselves. In Finder, you'll go to Go, and then select Connect to Server. And you'll enter in smb://files.cnuadmin.cnu.edu. Don't worry if you don't remember it, we'll put it in the instructions. So that you don't have to enter it in every time, you can click this plus sign and it will remember it for you. And put it in this favorite servers right here. All you got to do is click it. Click Connect, and in a minute you'll connect and it'll ask you which of the folders you want to put in. You can select only one or just hit Command and A to select them all, then click OK. Once you do that, it'll be here under Shared. Click that and you'll be brought to the same 3 folders that you saw on Windows. And you'll see if we click on Departments that you have just the IT Services or just your department, and your personal is exactly the same. Now once you're in here, this operates just like Galileo did. You can save things to it in any programs, bring things back. Unfortunately, you can't do the snapshots, so if you do have problems where you need to restore files, you'll have to contact ITS for help. That's pretty much all there is to it on the Mac. So now that you've seen how to access your files, let's talk about some best practices. So the most important thing is what can be stored on this new file system. We ask that you only store files related to your Christopher Newport University duties on the system. That means no personal files, no personal music or movie collections, anything like that. And we ask that you don't store executable files or virtual machines. They just take up a bunch of space and there's really better places to store them. We also ask that you don't store entire hard drive backups on the system. It's actually much easier to save your files directly onto the network file storage and then access them from there. That actually takes advantage of the snapshotting features as well. And finally, we want to note that you have no expectation of privacy for anything stored on our network file storage system. For additional information, you can see Virginia DHRM Policy 1.75. So you may have questions about this, and we're here to help. You can come to a live or online training session, and just watch your email for that schedule. You can file a help request at help.cnu.edu, or you can call our customer service line at 757-594-7079. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the new file system.